still raining. I'm about to go to the Walmart and let me tell you, man, there's all those people that be making gang stalking videos talking about how the government is doing stuff. Oh man, you want to know how the government makes a person go crazy? They create a split personality in the person, and then they get them involuntarily put in psychiatric facilities or in rehabilitation centers. And if it's not the government, if it's like your best friend that y'all are no longer friends, so he does some weird bullshit on you for revenge, or your ex-lover. Oh man, last time I had an ex-lover and she did that. She was like, I'm gonna stalk you, I'm gonna play mind games on you. So like, you know, I'm not a person that does any of that stuff, but like I had to survive. I was in survival mode. It made me very aware because of what happened. But let me tell you, like, I want to tell you here because, like, I gotta tell you, man, I gotta tell the people some weird stuff that they probably never heard about. Like, I always keep seeing the videos. They're always just targeting people. You know, sometimes they target businesses. And I gotta explain to you how they do that. So, for me, like, you know, like I said, like, you know, there was a person that called me and told me to leave. It's because they were spying on me on the computer. And they were looking at me, like looking at them, not looking at them, just looking at videos. And I would get, like, I would get, like, people coming around my office and just randomly, as I'm watching a video and talking about what's going on. And then I had some weird bullshit happen to me because the dude was spying on me. And I got in a car wreck. And it was like fucked up, man. I don't trust people around here. But like I was trying to say, you know, they target people in their computers. And and if you ever get one of these gang stalkers really mad, like really mad, if you ever get one of them really mad, they're willing to take their own lives to prove a point or something. It's weird. And like I was over there and I was in my office and they were watching what I was watching. I was being monitored by somebody locally. And I was watching a concert that was live. And then that's when they were like, do not watch the concert. They were like that. And I was just like, what the fuck? then getting a wreck for not listening to what they're telling you what to do. And then I'm trying to say about how they target businesses. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Anyways, they were telling the people, or they were like, I used to work at a jewelry store selling rings and jewelry, gold necklaces. And they really wanted to close the store because I don't know why. Because I was targeted by some people locally. I think I got them mad or something. And they were telling me, shut down your jewelry store. They're like, take your business and move it somewhere else. Because we want to see Sam's jewelry. We don't want to see Ruben's jewelry store. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, damn, man, the competition is rough over here with the jewelry store. I'm over here trying to sell Rolex watches, premium made platinum necklaces, ruby rings, all gold, handcrafted, made in the Middle East, blood diamonds, folks. And and like, as I was saying, I got a call and they said move your business somewhere else. That was like a threat. And I was like a lot of people, they don't get threats like that. And it was like a girl. It was a woman's voice. She was telling me to move my jewelry store to somewhere else. I was just freaked out. And I was like, damn, man. I must have sold them the wrong wedding ring or something. But no, I found out that I was being targeted and they wanted to close down the business. So they wanted to target the business. And, I told the owner, which his name was Jose, I said, Jose, listen, I can't work here. They want to shut down your business, Jose. I don't know what's going on in this little town, but you better watch what you're doing with these people. And so I gave him some advice. I said, Jose, you're a good person. You sell the best watches in town, the best rings. I like some of the jewelry too, the best prices, cheap prices so people can afford it. And I was like, Jose, you keep on doing what you're doing. Don't let anybody keep you down. Let me tell you right now, if you get in contact with that little girl that's calling the business and trying to tell the employees to leave the business, if you ever get in contact with that little girl, you know what to do. And because she already told me she wanted to make it so that the business, moves somewhere else. There was something going on. It wasn't competition. It was like they're targeting the business as a whole. And I had problems on the internet, on their computers, trying to do the stuff, trying to do the taxes and trying to get everything arranged because I was working as the manager. And that girl, she was like a white girl that lived in town, and she started harassing the employees that were in that business, and the employees, they didn't even know who this girl was. She she just kept coming up around the business, and she had bought something to do that, you know, to get into the computer. And then like I was like trying to put some files on my computer, and then there was this fat lady with blonde hair. She was like really fat. She looked like a pelican. She had a pelican face, and she's like, put those files in the computer so I can look at them. And I was like, what the fuck? I was being monitored on the computer. They were looking at all our files. They were trying to figure out how to close the business. I mean, I felt like it was 9/11, you know, World Trade Center, you know. I saw some crisis actors too, man. But they were working in reverse. They were telling me, like, you know, they were telling me as an employee to leave the business, to leave town. I was like, damn, Jose got in problems. At his jewelry store, there's people targeting the employees. They're trying to shut down Jose's jewelry store. I was like, man, all this because of the necklaces. You know, I understand. I understand, you know. If you get a product that somebody wants, and it's like a platinum chain, you know, and it's a nice little cross with rubies and diamonds on it, you know, all shiny. Yeah, man, there'll be people out there be like, shut down Jose's jewelry store. That man is selling these jewelries at affordable prices. We cannot let that happen here in Liberty, Texas. We cannot let that happen. We can't let people buy stuff that's affordable and that's nice looking so people can look good while they're out on their dates. This is what happened. I'm not lying. This is no joke. They target people's business here in Liberty, Texas. Already, like, you know, these are the stories of Liberty, Texas, gang stalking. All I know is that there was like a person here, and they put some graffiti on the wall. They put some graffiti, you know, gang stalking graffiti, to refer to the person that was doing the stuff. And you know, that was the person that was like telling people to leave the jewelry store. And like Jose was just like, I don't know anything about what you're talking about. So I talked to Samantha, who was a cashier. I said, Samantha, you know the girl, did she call you and tell you to move the business? And she said, yeah, there was some weird little girl who was calling over here, and she said, you know, she said to move the business. And she told me to leave the business. And I was like, whoa. And so I hung up. And she kept calling and calling and calling. And I just kept seeing the number, and I kept ignoring it. But you gotta know, man, being a targeted individual or being a targeted business, man, there's all kinds of bullshit. There's weird people that be doing this weird shit. And like, so we gotta be careful out there, folks. We gotta be careful, gotta be on guard here on guard, and we gotta make sure them roadways get built back up, get built better. 2026. We gotta make sure them trains and steam engines are roaring on 2026. Steam powered trains, folks. Steam powered trains.